So this is my pre-start of the video warning. This is a really long video. If you didn't look at the timestamp or the time bar down below, like a very long video. It's like 50-something minutes long. You can skip to the end to see it if you want, but if you want to follow through the steps of what I did and what you might want to, look into changing or improving, or you just want to see how, rambly I get throughout the whole video, which is a lot, then please watch the whole video. I'd appreciate you doing so. Alrighty, welcome to my third video on making one of these, or at least my third iteration of it. So, here's just a clip of me taking it apart. I've already taken out a bunch of the internals on this part, but it's a Nerf gun, so basically the entire premise is just unscrew the whole thing, rip it in half, and then take out all of the guts. Every single little bit, you take it out, and then that makes things easier in the end, such as painting and figuring out what you need to keep and what you don't need. You have it all stripped out. And so you can see me through here just stripping out the different little pieces and figuring out what I need and don't need on the left, questionably need on the right, and then in front of me where the barrel is and whatnot. That's all the stuff I'm keeping. Here you can see from this point, I start removing the shell pieces from each other. These shells have little tabs on them that you can see me depressing here and basically separating the two, the white body section and then the green top piece. Both sides have it, and it makes painting a whole lot easier in the end when you don't have to basically tape and separate them. They're just already separate. And since it has been a few days since I recorded those videos because I got sick, I have all my pieces in a bag right now. So, as you can see, we have everything separated in here. I mean, I have this, none of this is screwed together, but I have the barrel in here just because it wobbled around, and the end of the barrel on this piece, but everything just separates. And I have a magazine in there, and a bunch of the other parts in there that we're going to use. I still don't actually have the actual pistol in my possession that I'm going to use for this. So in the next clip, I'll be actually like trying to finish this and actually like sanding where I need to, actually sanding where I need to sand, and actually putting the pistol in there and sizing it up and everything. But I don't have that right now. Mail comes tomorrow, so I have to wait to make the next clip until tomorrow. Plus I've been sick, so I didn't want to start this without actually having the necessary materials. Okay. Mail came, so now I get to figure out what I'm actually going to keep and what I don't, and I'm not going to keep. This gives you a good parts breakdown as well. So, we have this here, these two pieces, and the barrel, and the hand grip. Don't lose this piece. This piece is very important. This has the barrel in it. Just keeping it in here so it's not in the way. Magazine can go somewhere over there. This is the cheek rest. This is 3 pieces. Right side, left side, and then the flap. Oops, try to put it upside down, of course. So these are all the core pieces right here. Figure out that you can actually see these. These are the core pieces right here. Oh, and the buttstock. The butt face, I have all the screws in right now because it's the most enclosed thing, so I just put tape over it. So all the screws in it. So yeah, there is the sort of the core pieces there. Those are what you absolutely need to keep to make this look like a Halo assault rifle. Oops, I also forgot this piece here. This piece goes right here and up here, like that. What I think I'm gonna do is paint this with this here, and then just tape off this bottom green section, and then paint the rest of it to match this, because on the other side, this matches up to this mirrors to this. So I'm going to be painting all of this, which is everything on here except for the bottom, this bottom bar. So this bottom bar that connects to there is going to stay the same as that, and this little piece right here. But the rest of this is getting painted the same color as the body. And the trigger. There it is, trigger. Those are the core pieces now. In here, I just have a bunch of other pieces. That big bar right there. That's what I used for the original trigger mechanism of the version 1 and 2. I'm probably going to do pretty much the same thing with this one. This one this one mail came. So I have the pistol. This is basically the exact same pistol. It's slightly different, like the fire selector is slightly different, and it feels like it's a little bit different, like mechanically. The one that I have is like 5 years old at this point, so but the only real difference is the fact that this doesn't have the extended inner barrel that comes out to like here. So I'm just gonna have to bring the outer barrel from that to this instead of this going into a smaller section than that. So here's version 2. So it's very hard to see. I don't know if I'm gonna be able to get it on the camera. I have a video. I have a video on the version 1 and the version 2. So if you want to see how it's actually put together from that video, I'd go just look at that, because I go into a pretty decent depth for how I put this together. Basically, what I did with that one is I had this little piece that had a small center hole, so the inner barrel could run through the center hole and be centered on this outer barrel. So this basically sat like this, right? But that one I also cut down, so this one's long enough that I can actually just straight up do that. I'll probably leave a slight gap just so it's not slamming into the front of this and destroying it. But so yeah, there's all of our pieces that we're going to at least need for the body. Again, I'm going to have to figure out how to redesign a new trigger system, because this is of course going back here, the trigger's up there. The one thing I wanted to do, which, let me grab the V2 again, second. Okay, set this down here. Okay, what I was experimenting with the V2, this is it here, was this here. I had a little hole drilled for the mag release, because, you know, there's obviously no mag release here, and I need to be able to press that. I had these little holes here, these two little holes, drilled in it for a while. This is a screw hole, that doesn't lead to anything, but the magazine release for the pistol is right about here. It's just to the right of this actual thing, which just means I messed up actually drilling the hole. But I was experimenting with these little tiny bolt nuts to see if I could get something to like stick and press onto the mag release. Haven't found any success with that so far, but we're gonna try and do something a little bit better with this on this one. I might just have to do what Spartan Jess did with his, and just straight up cut out a big hole here, and then cut out a big hole sort of above that for the slide release. Though this one doesn't need it, because if it's locked back, I just pull on it and it goes forward when I put a new mag in it. So, rambling on. Let's start this. I think today is just going to be the process of cutting out a lot of the stuff on the inside. Basically, if I move some stuff around, basically, how did I have this? I have this here? I don't even remember how I did this. Yeah, that looks right. I didn't have it there. Yeah, no. So, this will sit right about here. So basically, everything in the outline of this pistol, everything, including this section here, and this stuff right up here, all of that stuff needs to just be taken out. I have a Dremel right there. That's what I used for the V1 and the V2, is I cut down what I could with either knives or little clippers, but all of that has to come out. And then with this back section, this is where the cheek rest goes, and where the little trap door, like you can see into from right here. All of this stuff needs to come out too, because the slide needs to go back. So it's not too much work, it just takes time. So this will probably take me, if I finish it today, it'll take me all of today, all the rest of today, and it is 2:30, so it's going to take me until I want to go to sleep later, probably. If I don't finish today, I can finish tomorrow, but after that is going to be the process of getting these Nerf logos off. Normally Nerf logos, at least they used to just be like painted on, but at some point they started doing, on one side they have like this molded in Nerf logo that has been painted, and then they have a Halo one on this side too, and then they have one on the other side that's unpainted. So have to get rid of those. I don't think there's any actually other logos on here from what I saw in the V1 and V2, but as you can see with the V2, it's not there. It looks a little discolored. It's relatively smooth, actually, like in terms of the actual texture of it. I did a pretty good job with smoothing it out. That side maybe not as much, but I did a pretty good job, I gotta say. The halo part on this one is the one that looks a little choppy. You can almost see the word halo still. So I'll let me even get the V. I'm gonna go get the V1. All right, now we're getting treated in this video. So this is the V1. This is the old one. This is the one that the shooting video is made in. You can tell because this section is silver. It's actually this piece here, which I could actually reuse. Now that I think about it, this goes over the top of this because this is the same dimensions of a pistol. So yeah, that went over the top of that as the charging handle for in there. But move everything out of the way. I really just want to compare these here. So this one, I did a pretty good job smoothing it, but when I ended up painting it, it got really dark right there. And then same thing with that one. And the Halo logo on the V1 wasn't actually that bad. And again, the V2, you can hardly tell that there's supposed to be something there. You might be able to tell on that side, but then when we get to the Halo logo where something's very much ground off there, I didn't do any finish sanding with that, which I definitely should have, but you can kind of see how the paint job evolved. The V1 was paint the body black, paint the green part, all of that green, or all of that gray. I'm gonna paint this and that with that same gray. That gray, by the way, is I don't know if I have it right here next to me. I do. This one? No, it's this one. The gray is actually this. It's aluminum. That's why you can see how shiny it is on those pieces. It's actually aluminum, so it's supposed to be this really shiny, silvery metal paint. But then I took the black spray paint that I used for the body and sort of misted that over the top of it. And that's sort of how you get this sort of texturing effect, almost. But I really like the V2 better. The V2 I think just looks better. It looks just like worn metal. And then the grip just looks kind of worn. And then of course you can see I accidentally notched the top right there. You can see the right here, the exposed paint. Yeah, so still rambling on, man. I need to be stopped. So V1, V2, that's gonna be V3. It's gonna follow the same idea in terms of what I'm going to do, but I'm actually going for a different paint job this time. I'm not going for the Halo Reach sort of NA37 kind of AR. I mean, well, that's what I'm going for. It's the same model. I mean, the Halo Infinite Assault Rifle is just the Halo Reach Assault Rifle. Going for the same thing, but I think I'm actually going to try and bling it up. I don't have it in this room here. I have it in the other room. I'm going to hit it with some gold spray paint, I think. Let me actually... look up here what I'm going for. Alright, I'm going for something like this. That is the Black Ops 1 gold camo. So, basically the idea is going to be... Move these out of the way. Proper beauties over there. So, the idea is going to be... I'll just grab these two. The body is going to be the bit that's gold. Because in all of the Black Ops 1 gold camos, it's most of the main body is gold, and then the sort of attachment pieces or extra pieces are going to be black. So we have, this is going to be all gold. So it's going to be all gold. I might keep these little grip sections gold or black. But for the most part, this is going to be gold. And then these here, I think, so this I believe is also going to be gold. The barrel, I think I'm going to make it black because you can see the barrel through that there. So that would be a cool contrast. So gold for most of the main body, black for that, or gold for that, black for this. I think the trigger's going to be black, obviously. The foregrip, the cheek rest, and the stock are going to be black. The ammo counter I haven't decided on yet. I do actually want to see if I can get a working ammo counter out of this, but I don't know if I want this to... I mean, obviously it would look better if it matched this, but I don't know. I don't know yet. We'll figure that out when we get there. I'm going to stop lollygagging now and get to cutting out some of this stuff. Or most of it, actually. Alright, so here's just some pictures of the pistol and where it's supposed to be. And all the pieces, you can pause it as well. All the pieces marked in Sharpie, all the little black lines. I'm showing both sides off here. All the little black lines and the black X's, that's what you have to remove. All of those, just get rid of them, because then the pistol won't fit properly in the shell. I'm also removing the battery tray area right here, just so I can have more space to fit things. Just more convenient for me. You don't have to do this step, but I'm removing that for more storage, basically. Okay, so here we have, I've cut out basically everything that I need. You can sort of see, I haven't used my Dremel yet because I really didn't need to this time. I actually have a couple of different cutting tools. And so I cut out basically everything. You can see cut out this whole section and this whole section. You can see where the grip lines are. So that sort of lines up with the edge of that. But yeah, once this can go in here, and you can take the other shell. If I can line it up. And you could put it on, and obviously if you clamped it together with the screws there wouldn't be any seam or anything. If you can do that, then that means you've done a good job. Next, you can see this sort of wobbles around. My next step is always taking the barrel and doing what I've already done, where I cut the end off, because normally, if I get the barrel on, normally the barrel comes back to here, so cut this much of it off. So now that's in place, this will just sort of slide into there like that. But the pistol, it's going to move around. So I normally take this one for the V1 and the V2. I can grab the V2, still have it right here. Right there, that orange bit right there, that's just the barrel. That's this piece here that's cut down and shaped for the back of this. And so it's glued right back here along this section, and is just against the back of this pistol. So that black piece right there, this one. That's all that is just this piece shoved right here and cut down. So now I'm gonna do that. I also, trick for finding the barrel length, I just sort of guess and check when it comes to this, cutting this off. I just sort of lined this up, and then I took a Sharpie, colored that, and then if I set this all the way forward, this would have been like an inch this way, so it would have been pushed in all the way. So what I did was I took a Sharpie and I made a line like that. This second line is to line up with this piece here. You can see right here. Lines up with that, and that line lines up with that. And then you just glue, that's just super glue, just all up in there. So that's how I cut that first, and then I measure how I need to pull this out or push this in all the way. And so now I have basically a perfect fit for that. Here we are. So I sort of traced the side of it there with the Sharpie, cut it off, sort of warped the end of it here while I was cutting it, but that's okay, because it doesn't need to be perfect. All it needs to do is sort of slide in right there. So once it's slid in right there, this isn't moving at all. This is stuck. So that just means we gotta glue that right there. Hot glue, super glue, I don't know, epoxy, whatever you want to do. And then you're basically locked in place here. The only real way to get this out other than that is just to pull up on it. So basically when you put it in, obviously that'll be stuck there. You put this in barrel first, and then sort of stuff it in. Oops. There we go. There it is. Okay, so I did have to break out the Dremel. I'll show you why in a second. But basically, if I can put this on here, the fit you're looking for is decently, like, nothing around the top here, but then it'll be pretty tight down here. That's why I had to break out the Dremel, is to sand down both these sides a little bit more, so it actually fits pretty well. It's still, you can see a little bit open, but we can just close that with the screws. It doesn't impede anything. But this is basically the fit you're looking for, is so you're able to pull this back and forth with nothing impeding its movement, but the pistol stays still. I have it sort of mocked up right now, so it's got the barrel in there. Something I didn't show earlier is I cut out this back and top section of the original battery tray. I think I showed off the X's that were on there. I'm gonna show that off now. I cut out this entire section here. I didn't quite get the bottom there, but that's fine. But oops. Yeah, so I had to break out the Dremel to sand down this whole thing, and then I just took a nice smooth sandpaper to it to sort of thin it down a little bit. Every little bit counts. I'm not going to go any deeper than this, especially towards the top on this side, on the left side, because it has this dumb little, what even are these? I think these are just the trademarks. This little patch right here is indented, so if I were to go any deeper, I would just cut straight through that right there. And I did the same on the other side as well. the other side as well here. I got this glued with a ton of hot glue. I don't think I showed that off either, but a ton of hot glue. I just sort of gooped it all up. I might put more on there even, but yeah, it's not gonna move, so. I think the next steps after this are going to be this. So getting on this barrel, I actually have this one fitted really tight with that. So what I've been having to do is put the barrel over that there and then fit this into place. There we go. Yeah, I believe the next thing to do is probably going to be cutting out this hole here for the charging handle, as you can see on the V2 there. And then I'm done with all of the body modifications, I believe. I believe after that it comes to painting. I still have to get a trigger link going, but I have all the pieces I need for that. I'll sort of show that off later. So yeah, I think I'm cutting a hole for this. I want to get like a really clean cut hole, but all I have is my Dremel, and I have saw heads for it, of course, but the V2 was supposed to be a cleaner cut hole, and I believe I did a cleaner job with it, but the problem with it is you can see it's circular and it's kind of burnt on this side. That's just because I took the sanding tool. You can see that just about perfectly fits right there, because I literally just sanded through it and then scraped along, because the cutting tool I used wasn't working very well. But I'm gonna try again with this and try and get a thinner hole, maybe not as thin as this, but still thin. Another thing I was thinking of doing, let me go grab it here. This is the same flashlight as the V1 and the V2. It's just like an AIM Sport. It's like 25 bucks or something like that. If I can get the button. It's just a pressure switch. Same things here. What I'm thinking of doing, obviously I need to take it out of this mount, but when I put it in here, instead of running it through here and then through like a hole or something like I did with those ones, I'm thinking of seeing if I can get this wire to stretch all the way back to like here, or on the other side maybe, or I don't think I have the room to get it back around this side, because if I could get it to here I could use the original rev switch and put it here, but I don't think I have the room to get it around here because the trigger system goes through this part. So not sure what I'm gonna do for that yet, but I do want to see if I can get something that goes back to one of these points and like sits deep in here. You just press the outside button there, which would be this button. Maybe something in the grip if I can, but I don't know yet. I don't quite know what I want to do. All I know is I'm gonna have more space because I cut out this area, so I have more space to mess with instead of trying to fight the whole insides. So, but yeah, next step, cut a hole in that. So as you can see right here, I missed the part where I primed everything, but I have everything primed right now. This is just the golden base coat that's going over the main body. I'm going to do multiple coats of this. That's coat number 1 as it stands. So another part of this endeavor is these. I roughed them up a little too much with the Dremel, so they're kind of showing spots and whatnot. So I'm just going to find whatever 400 grit sandpaper I have in here. I don't know if I have any lying around, but I'll find some, there's some 400 grit sandpaper, just to smooth them out before I put another coat of this primer on there, and then we'll be good to go. Okay, now that I have everything outside and painted and dried, except for a couple of pieces in here. Stuff like this, I'm going to leave this how it is. This is going to be black. The cheek rest, I'm going to take these pieces off, the orange ones, and probably paint them black. Stock, this just has all the screws in it right now. It's going to be black. This, I want to put an actual ammo counter in this, but I don't know if I have the time or the money to do that. So for the moment, I'm going to cover up this screen and go out and basically do the same thing, paint it all. This piece has to be painted black, and other side of that, trigger, trigger, also going to be painted black. So all this is going to be black except for this. There's the pistol. I still haven't made the pusher mech. Oh, and I forgot this piece. This piece is like the shell ejection port. It goes right underneath this part. It snaps into the actual body of the gun, but it goes right there. That too. Haven't made the pusher mech yet. That's the trigger mech, but I'm still going to use this piece. I'm just going to measure how far I need to be when I have the paint done, because it's all internal work now. I have to just get it hooked up to this trigger, cut it to the right length, and then what I did last time was cut off right here, and this hooks into the actual frame of the trigger. So hooks in like it would go under. You hook it in like that because this wouldn't be here. Like this. So basically hook in like this, and that would connect to the trigger right about here, and you just push it back. So that's the next step, is doing this, since I have everything outside painted. So I'm gonna get to it. Okay, so while the paint's drying, here's the version 1. This is the version 1 bolt carrier, I guess. This cardboard sleeve that has the handle on it. This just sat in here and racked back and forth. If you watch my original firing video, this is what you see, except it's painted silver. See, the inside's still silver. But I repainted it black after I made that video. Basically, this goes on to here. Spartan Jess actually did a really good idea. Shout out to him for making, quite frankly, a much better quality version than the two I have. Used a lot of like metal pieces and whatnot, but he had a good idea where you epoxy something like this that has the bolt connected to it, or the bolt handle connected to it. You epoxy that to the front sight, and on a lot of pistols like this, you can sort of see the screw right next to my finger there, that little kind of silvered out piece. That's the screw right there. That means you can just take the front side off, and this whole thing would come off if you needed to take it off. On my version 1 pistol, this one I bought specifically for this project. My version 1 pistol, I epoxied it straight to the side of the slide, just cut it out, epoxied a slide on there, or the handle on there, because I bought it, or because I knew I wasn't using that pistol for anything else, and I'm sort of thinking the same thing for this, because I bought this pistol for this project. So I don't want to take this apart, because this is the version 1. Like, I used to just leave this in here in the body of the version 1. I only took it out for demonstration purposes a while back, but I'm thinking do the same thing here. Epoxy something right here. And because my other one, I can't really show you because I have it painted. I think I showed it on camera. The slot is a lot thinner than this. It's actually like probably half the thickness of this slot here, it's like narrower. So I'm gonna have to wait for the paint to be done anyway to figure out where I need to mount something to here. So I guess we have to wait for more paint to be done. I thought I could do this step separately, but I guess not. Okay, well, I guess we're gonna wait. Guess we're gonna wait for the paint. Okay, so here's a quick mock-up. Obviously, I don't have everything painted with that and this front end piece here, but here's a quick mock-up of everything. I do have the pistol on the inside. Nothing's screwed down, but this is what I was talking about in one of the previous clips of the thing being thinner than the version 1. The version 1 is like this big, huge, gaping hole. This is a lot thinner. You can see not everything's, nothing's screwed down, but you see the pistol in there. I used just a shiny metallic gold paint, and then I put a high gloss finish over the top of it. I don't know if I got all the spots super heavy, like right here is a little bit flat compared to everything else, but it looks fine. I also hit all of the black pieces I painted with the high gloss as well, so everything looks nice and shiny for the most part. Over here I still have the flashlight to put in that I just need to sort of scrape down the inside of this hole here to get that fitted. This is for the trigger mechanism, which I have not done yet. Trigger, obviously. So that stuff still needs to be painted, but I can paint most of that by hand. So we're just about done. Just about done. So as you saw in that last clip, which I couldn't record audio for at the time, I took that plastic piece from the battery insert where you put batteries in the Nerf gun. I took that, I cut out a small section of it, I JB welded it to the front sight and took the front sight off for now, and I'm adding a screw on there, as you saw in the last clip. That's drying right now. That screw I'm going to put a bunch of different nuts on to make like a handle, and that's going to be the charging handle. I think I'm going to then take those, including the slide, and just take the whole thing and either paint everything black or paint everything gold. And I'm not sure which one yet, but that's the plan. Once that's all welded, the paint will take like an hour to sort of put together. So I'm hoping that tomorrow the video comes out, this video that I'm recording. I'm just waiting for things to dry now. I have everything else done, except for technically the trigger link, but that's going to take me like 10 seconds to put something together, so tomorrow will probably be the final video clip for this. Okay, so this, I just need to attach the nuts onto here and then paint it, and I'll be done. I have here trigger mech, which I'm about to dump a whole lot more hot glue onto here, but I just put a bunch of hot glue on here. It's literally just the pusher mechanism attached to the trigger, and then I add this little piece of plastic here to help with a more surface to put glue onto. So this is done. That's basically done. we're just about done. I think this will be the next clip will hopefully be the last clip of the entire video, I hope. Okay, I think we're done here. I think we have everything here, all prepped and ready. Doesn't look super good right now, but you'll see that it does. Here's the pistol. I have this little screw on here. This is what I'm going to attach the little handle to right there by the orange tip. I thought literally like 10 minutes before I wanted to record this that I could have bought shrink wrap and done the same thing that I did there with the hot glue and the paint. So I think I'm gonna go get more of those nuts and some shrink wrap and make it a little bit better tomorrow. But I want to get this done finally. Trigger mech is in here. It's just one big old piece. This just fits right on into here. Just in between everything. Like that. Then we take top shell here, got the flashlight in it. Sort of line this up down here, right there. Sometimes everything just needs to be pushed down a little. Now it's on. This side piece here goes on. Then this piece here is very important. This little sort of half moon piece, it goes right here and locks these two pieces together. Then you can take your hand grips. Make sure this is pretty tight on there. Take your hand grips, put them on here, and that's basically it right there. I'll give you a better angle of this. Front to back. Now I'm going to take this little piece off this screw here. Screw it onto here, because the hole that I made in this one is much narrower and much nicer looking, so I made something that can come off so it's not permanently attached. So in this case, all these screws on this magnet here, there's a lot of them. I think this thing has like 30 something screws. I'm gonna take 4. That's all it really takes to put this thing together. So I'm going to take one, put it up here, and this one up here. And I like to put one either in this one or the middle one on the grip. This time we're going for the middle. I think on the version 2 I only used 3 screws, but this one, I'm going to go back here to make sure that this and this magazine area sort of sits together very well. And then I think I want to do this one. Well, let's see. So I'm going to need one for the stock because the stock pieces don't stick by themselves, and I'm going to need one for there because this time I didn't glue. I glued this on last time to each side. So I think I'll drop one into here, make sure this is tight. And remember from earlier in the video, the screw right below that, this one right here, is gone. That whole post you had to remove to get the slide to move. So we just have this one up top here. Make sure that's tight, and then one more for the, let's do the middle, yeah. And you can sort of play around with which ones you want to put in and which ones you don't want to put in, but this is fully functioning now. I'll look into there. That is a fully functioning Halo AR, and then click, boom. This has been my ridiculously long video on how to make, in-depth how I make my Halo ARs. This is technically the third version, though I haven't done anything different from the version 2. I have the same placement of the flashlight switch. Sort of see lighting up right there. It's sort of bright in here, but same placement of the flashlight switch. I haven't made any sort of holes for the magazine release and slide release yet, but this is sort of a, you know, fancy gold version, so I didn't want to mess with the body too much. If I do make any adjustments to that, you will see it on Instagram. I'm not going to make a whole new video just detailing it, but yeah, this is the whole thing right here. Painted these little parts on the sides, on both sides. The gold stripe I added on there was one of the last things I added. Well, let me make sure that's screwed in all the way. Sometimes these Nerf shells, there we go, that's much better. Sometimes these Nerf shells don't like to have like a dedicated closed and open for their screws, but yeah, it's finally done. Took me a couple weeks longer than I thought it would, but realistically I should have had this done like a week ago and just sort of kept putting off different pieces of it. So there you are. There is my gas blowback golden MA37 or MA40, whichever you care to put it as. There it is.